This is CS50's Game Development Course Assignment 9. In this assignment, we were given three specifications to add to the game. The first specification, we had to spawn holes in the floor of the maze such that the player can fall through them. This should be very easy to implement. So, in order to do this, we go to levelgenerator.cs and in our void start function, we go to line number 70 and I've created an if condition that checks if our map data of z comma x is set to false, which means that the position is not a wall parent. Then we check if our holes generated is less than holes. Our holes is has a fixed variable which is set to 4, such that only 4 holes will be generated in the entire level, and our holes generated is set to 1. And then we create a random dot range from 1 to 20, which is a random probability. And if we get 1, then we increment our holes generator by 1 and we continue, which skips line number 83, which would create a flow if random dot range did not work and a flow would be generated. But since it works, this line would be skipped and thus a hole would be generated in our level. In the second specification, when the player falls through any holes, we had to transition to a game over screen similar to a title screen, and it's implemented as a separate scene. In order to do that, I have created a new C# script called despawn on height, and which is given to the FPS controller as a script component. And in its update function, we check if our character controller's y-axis goes less than -10, which means that it goes below the level's ground. If so, then first we we directly just load our scene manager to the end state. And also, in order to handle the overlapping of sounds between the play scene and the start scene, just before we die, I've just destroyed the whisper source sound from the play scene. And also, in our third specification, we had to add a text table to the play scene that keeps track of which maze we are in currently. So suppose we die, I've set our level variable to be static. So after we die, I have to explicitly set this level counter to 1. Hence, this is done on line number 20. And in order to create the leveler, I've created another C# script called level counter.cs, in which we create our static variable called level, set it to 1, and we create a text which is in a canvas. And in our start state, we just write the text directly level and our initial level, which will be level 1. And each time the player grabs the coin, the level increments. So we go to grab pickups.cs, and on line 17, when the player picks up the coin, we just increment our level counter.level by 1. That's it. I'll be showing you a demonstration now.